Today I'm going to show you how I decorated this Kuromi cake. Come join me. So this is a 2-layer 12-inch chocolate cake with peanut butter icing. I started with putting some peanut butter icing onto my cake board to hold my cake still so it doesn't slide while I'm decorating. So I first added my first 12-inch layer, and then I'm beginning to stack this cake. So I'm smoothing the icing to add the second layer onto the cake. I noticed that my bag was not quite open enough, so I cut off more of the top of that bag so that I could move along quicker filling and stacking this cake. I wanted to put some extra icing in this because it's a peanut butter chocolate cake, and I tend to think that people love that icing, so I add extra. Then I added the second layer of cake, and I'm now going to crumb coat the cake. Now that the top of that cake is covered, I am adding I'm adding the peanut butter icing to the sides. And now it's about smoothing that icing to the cake. And now that it's mostly smooth, I want to go back and I want to add some icing to any gaps that I see in the cake. So here you see me doing some at the bottom of the cake. After I finish crumb coating the cake, I'm now adding the top coat of icing, and this is a vanilla buttercream. And as you can see, I'm doing this in purple, and I'll do that to cover the entire cake. In between these two layers, I did chill the cake so that as I am spreading this purple icing, it's not mixing in with the peanut butter icing. And I wanted to make sure I did that so that the brown color of the peanut butter doesn't shine through into the purple, which is the theme color of this cake. And now that this cake is completely smooth, I'm using a cookie cutter to kind of guide where I'm going to put my my first ribbon of icing onto the cake. I'm doing that so that it's evenly placed and the length and the width of each of the ribbons is the same size. And here I am adding those ribbons for the first line on the cake. To do this ribbon, I'm using a leaf tip for the icing. Now that I have the ribbons along the first center of the cake, I'm now doing that same ribbon along the bottom as a border of the cake. And now I'm doing that same border again at the top of the cake. You see, I'm just kind of like wiggling the bag as I'm dragging it along. After completing that part, I am taking a 1M tip and actually a 2D tip, and I'm just doing a shell border along the top outside of this cake. Also using a smaller version of the 2D along the bottom border. And now you'll notice that I've changed the purple color. It's now more of a bluish purple. I just wanted to add some variety to this cake. After doing that, I'm making a design at the top of each one of those swoops that I did with that first set of ribbon in the center of the cake. And after I'm finished with that, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to draw some dots going down from each one of those swoops. And here's where you can see what they look like. Now I'm doing some drop lines over top of that first ribbon that I did. You can see one of them right there. But I'm going to do that the whole way around the cake. This is continue drop lines around the entire cake. Now I am going in and I'm cutting out the topper that I'm going to be adding. It's an edible image. This is Kuromi from Hello Kitty. So I'm really just going to cut out a heart-shaped Kuromi in purple. Now I'm going on and I'm adding that actual image to the top where it's going to be. And I'm adding the words happy birthday here on the left hand side of the cake and Kenny on the right side of the cake. And that's who this cake is for. At the top of my center ribbon, I decided that I needed to add something. So you'll see I'm doing a star swoop above that around the entire cake. And once I have that star ribbon around the whole cake, that's really going to wrap up the decoration after I put these pearls on. So you'll see I'm putting pearls at the top of each one of those swoops. And then I'm also going to add some to the top of the cake. And with that, I'm just sprinkling a few smaller ones around the border. And this is what the cake looked like when it was done. If you enjoyed watching this video and how I decorated this cake, I encourage you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future content. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And that will finish it up. Thank you again for joining me.